Mr. Speaker, sir, I, with a heavy heart, stand here to join the Leader of the House to condole the demise of as many as 12 very important and illustrious leaders the country has produced. With profound grief, Mr. Speaker, sir, through you, I would like to first convey my deepest condolences to the members of the bereaved family of these great leaders. They have served our people, the respective states to which they belonged, and the nation as a whole in their respective capacities, and have contributed substantially to the growth and progress and prosperity of the nation as a whole. I express my profound grief in the loss of these important leaders. Mr. Speaker, sir, out of these 12 illustrious leaders, I would like to first, with my fond memories of my association, remember the life and contribution and pay tribute to our esteemed leader whom we have lost, Dr. Manmohan Singh ji, who served us in different capacities, even before being part of the political class. His contribution prior to becoming a minister in the Union Cabinet is therefore asked to recollect and appreciate and understand his in-depth knowledge about the wherewithal of the subject to which he was assigned to perform and fulfill his purpose. We recollect his contribution as the Union Finance Minister when the country was confronted by a very daunting challenge. The nation presumed that we had a bleak future then, and it was only befitting then to induct him as the Minister of Finance in the Union Cabinet. And we all know rest was history. How daunting the whole job must have been for him at that point of time. But then, despite the challenges, positioning the nation as one of the nations which could actually ultimately create a story of growth and prosperity in the succeeding decades by what he contributed at that point of time. The whole economic reforms and the globalization that positioned the nation to be active member in the whole growth story of the whole global growth story rather. I recollect many of the stories narrated by many of the successful leaders of the corporate world who have met their position felt not only nationally but globally. The story revolves around the initiatives, the policy initiatives of the then government, courtesy Dr. Manmohan Singh ji as Union Finance Minister. Mr. Speaker, sir, his contribution to the overall development of Meghalaya and Northeast as a whole is something which reminds me of his empathy and connect with the life of people of different stratus. It was very easy for us as leaders of the state to seek an appointment and get an appointment to bring into his notice the issues confronting the state. I remember even while I was in the cabinet, as Minister Cabinet, when we looked at the developmental gaps of the region with a particular reference to Northeast, he was prompt enough to embark upon initiatives, directing his members of the cabinet. I remember in 2004, when T.R. Balu, the then Union Minister MORTH, was sent to Shillong to have elaborate discussion and prepare a whole comprehensive developmental program in the road sector for the whole Northeast. I had the privilege of hosting that program. And with that came ambitious proposals from this part of the country, keeping in mind the huge developmental gaps that we had in all sectors, particularly in road sector. Given the kind of limitation of our access to different multi-modes of travel system for states where we depend completely on road sector. And that is the time when an ambitious, comprehensive developmental plan was adopted here in Shillong. The Spatial Accelerated Road Development Program for Northeast. It was so ambitious because the whole east-west corridor, which was supposed to go through Meghalaya, didn't happen. It went skipping Meghalaya. So we wanted that all the state capitals must be connected with this four lane. Plus, all the district capitals must be connected with minimum 10-meter paved road with the nearest national highway. And all other important sectors which revolves around the economic growth and the prosperity of the state, with our focus on Look East policy to create the otherwise conflict international borders to become a border of prosperity and friendship. All these initiatives were compiled in this ambitious program. We were thinking whether we will get it, whether the Union Ministry will be so considerate to such an ambitious plan. But under his leadership, he took the matter to the cabinet approved the whole comprehensive plan. That's how this huge investment program was born for the benefit of the whole Northeast. And all the states in the Northeast are beneficiary of this. Subsequently, look at many other initiatives. I used to refer to this MG and REGS as the most effective financial stimulus in the nation, which has taken care of the wage seekers and did justice. I remember wage seekers from Meghalaya traveling across our Assam-Meghalaya border, seeking wages. Our minister in charge, Power, will connect with me how many people from our side goes to Assam as agriculture laborers, the mothers, the sisters. When we used to ask them, prior to the introduction of MGREGS through legislation, the wages, 30 rupees, 40 rupees. That was the maximum wages that our mothers and sisters used to get as agricultural laborers. Justice has been done. Wisdom prevails, and the whole end result of the empathy with which they have fulfilled their responsibility is before us till now. Therefore, these are, I must say, these are initiatives which must have been guided by divine wisdom to justice, to the victims of perversion of justice. We know how wage seekers are to a great extent exploited by so-called wage givers. These days, even government is also resorting to this type of thing. But I must place on record that today, because of this MGA and REGS, the whole wages across the nation has been rationalized and justice has been done. And Mr. Speaker, sir, the transparency, the empowerment of the people in the true spirit of the core values that revolves around in our democratic system, the right to information, how it has empowered. Otherwise, seeking information has been completely within the domain of the respective legislatures and the parliament, only available to elected members of different houses, parliament, state legislatures, and autonomous district councils. But this whole empowerment of the people through this Right to Information Act is something which has revolutionized our whole system of seeking information and thereby enabling the citizens to be completely involved in the whole process of implementation of programs and developmental initiatives. Mr. Speaker, sir, I think we as policymakers must place on record our sense of gratitude and deep sense of appreciation for all these bold decisions which has enabled us to see the resultant transformative changes in the years that has followed. I also remember how the whole telecom revolution under his leadership ultimately positioned the nation. Today, with that whole foundation that was laid, we see every household holding mobiles. But unfortunately, he had to pay the price. Because at that point of time, nobody knew that everybody will look for mobile telephone. For any potential investor in telecom sector at that point of time must have been, something which were probably considered as huge risk associated with investment. But nevertheless, the government opened up the sector, provided so many support system, for which he was accused subsequently and which was not defended properly. I wish I was there to defend him. Because who knew at that point of time that every household, both the husband and wife, will end up having mobile? That the whole telecom sector will become such a vibrant sector where all the corporate houses will look for investment as a most lucrative business arena. Today, I used to, in a lighter vein, tell that how telecom has influenced the lives of everybody. Illiterate mothers who have never had the privilege of going to schools have learned English languages. Network busy, English, everything in English. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, what I want to say is that this is one sector which was with utmost sense of sincerity, as I analyze, was embarked upon by this great visionary leader, but for which he was defamed, unfortunately. And somehow or other, he was not defended in the right earnest. Mr. Speaker, sir, from Meghalaya's perspective, I think the many footprints which substantiates his empathy and the kind of promptness with which he has responded to every request of every state. I remember when I met him as Chief Minister, I went with a long list of proposals. The media carried a news item the next day saying that Meghalaya Chief Minister knocks the door of the Union Ministry with a begging bowl. We never go with begging bowl. We always go to ask for our entitlement, keeping in mind the historical background, how we Northeast are affected by the adverse situation due to the partition. With all this porous border which never becomes an international border of prosperity but remains as border of conflict. None of our policymakers, irrespective of, with no offense intended, I have came across many prime ministers who think the same way like the media writes, that we go with a begging bowl. We don't go with begging bowl. What is the provision of the Constitution? The responsibility towards the states. It is a constitutional provision. So when we discuss about this long list of developmental programs, within 1 week, I got the response. Within 1 week, the team was here in Shillong from different ministries. 4-lane connecting Jorabat to Shillong, the Shillong bypass, the Shillong-Nongstoin Road, the NH44E. Then we talked about the rest. It came as 127B, National Highway, 401 kilometer, with the longest bridge in the country, over Brahmaputra. I saw, therefore, yesterday, our Honorable Chief Minister, Assam, expressing happiness about that. This is an offshoot of that particular meeting. 401 long road connecting Srirampur via Phulbari to Nongstoin, 401 kilometer, with the longest bridge over Brahmaputra. How much money? All these things were designed in such a way that you have the developmental program to connect this most difficult area where we don't have any other mode of transportation in absence of railway and others. Then you have all these special accelerated road development program, whether you talk about this Ranikot to Bakmara, whether you talk about all these other roads connecting, some of the roads which were sanctioned, we could not allot the work, courtesy politics.
Honorable Member, please.
Yeah.
Just 1 minute. Since this is Friday and it is past 12 o'clock,
12.
I will extend the time of the House till all the business for today is completed. Please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. We have crossed 12. So this contribution of these leaders who understood the complexity of the problem of the people of Meghalaya and people of Northeast, I think we must always remember. And we should remind the leaders of the current dispensation also that how things were done and responded to us, how they had empathy and understanding. We asked for IIM, we got it. We asked for NIFT, we got it. We asked for MIT, we got it. So many. But it's worth remembering and to express our gratitude and deep sense of appreciation and thanks to these great leaders. I hope we have many more such prime ministers who speak less but does more. I remember Negrims, just post-graduation. But the moment we send a proposal, they approve and we have the undergraduate course. And today, Negrims has both undergraduate and postgraduate. Also the nursing. So, like that, many of these programs for the whole Northeast, we have lost a great leader who have contributed immensely for the whole growth and prosperity of this great nation. We miss him. I am sure we all miss him, but he has done his part. I hope we carry forward the legacy as people who are still available, who are still in circulation, do justice to the responsibility with which we have been vested upon. by the people. I would like to, with my fond memories, remember the contribution and pay tribute to these great leaders of our own state as well. Badi Piyangju, a great friend of mine, friend of all, accessible to everyone, man of the masses, always humorous, shaking hands and hugging and greeting, extraordinary person. He has immensely contributed to that particular constituency, which is one of the most difficult constituencies. We all know Mausanram constituency, how difficult that constituency is. I'm sure his contribution will all be remembered by the people who have fondly and respectfully elected him. And may all those works which were embarked upon by him but stayed incomplete be taken up. I'm sure we know few of the issues which were flagged by him in this August House, which is there on the record, and let us do justice to the desire of the people which were articulated so eloquently by these leaders during their time. Through you, Mr. Speaker, sir, I convey my deepest condolences to the bereaved members of the family of Piyangju. And I also remember and pay my gratitude and respect for our Noberfil Armara, who represented Tura North in 2013 and 2018. He was a government officer prior to joining active politics. And besides all the things that we know, I would like to remind ourselves of his passionate contribution towards environment. Honorable Speaker, you will remember, they led one NGO which were utilized as an effective tool to sensitize the communities across Garo Hills, from Tura to Bakmara to Rongara, all those across the length and breadth of Garo Hills. They used to move during holidays and connect with people to contribute their bit in order to sensitize people. Today, Garo Hills, instead of the barren Jhum area, we see plantations. We see many people adopting horticulture as means of their sustainable livelihood. This whole change of approach towards sustainable livelihood were due to this aggregation of this contribution by many people, and one of these contribution comes from their collective contribution as that organization. Therefore, definitely we can understand their concern and the passionate desire to really contribute whatever they can for the overall progress and prosperity of our people. We lost him early. We see many of these leaders leaving us at the age of 80 plus, but we lost him while he was still 72. I think it's a little too early. We hope all of us will be blessed with longevity. We see many of these leaders going after 80s, and so that we can continue to contribute in different capacity wherever we are. It need not be as members of this August House alone, like what Let Noberfil Armarak has proven by his contribution even before retiring and even before becoming an active politician. I also, with fond memories, pay my tribute to Let H.B. Dan, a senior man who has contributed immensely. We all knew him, a veteran, and his contribution has been in many spheres. I condole his death and convey my deepest condolences to the members of these very families. To you, Mr. Speaker, sir. And we have also lost other leaders, distinguished and very illustrious leaders. But These are all beyond our control. They have lived, contributed, and we are grateful to them. We express our profound grief through you and convey my deepest condolences through you, Mr. Speaker, sir, to the members of the bereaved families of all these leaders whom we have lost. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.